Nancy Pelosi was asked a question about why she didn't impeach Bush. And this is probably the most disgusting thing I've seen all week, all month. I don't even know how to. It's truly sickening. It's truly sickening. Let's take a look.
So, Speaker Pelosi, you resisted calls for the impeachment of President Bush in 2006 and President Trump following the Mueller report earlier this year. This time is different. Why did you oppose impeachment in the past? And what is your obligation to protect our democracy from the actions of our president now?
Thank you. Thank you for bringing up the question about, because when I became Speaker the first time, there was overwhelming call for me to impeach President Bush on the strength of the war in Iraq, which I vehemently opposed. And again, I have said it other places. That was my wheelhouse. I was intelligence. I was the ranking member on the Intelligence Committee, even before I became part of the leadership of Gang of Four. So I knew there were no nuclear weapons in Iraq. It just wasn't there. They had to show us, they had to show the Gang of Four all the intelligence they had. The intelligence did not show that that was the case. So I knew it was a misrepresentation to the public. But having said that, it was in my view, not a ground for impeachment. They won the election, they made a representation, and to this day, people think that it was the right thing to do. The people think that Iraq had something to do with 9/11. I mean, it's appalling what they did. But I did, and I said, if somebody wants to make a case, you bring it forward. But they had impeached Bill Clinton for personal indiscretion and misrepresenting about it. Impeached him. Some of these same people are saying, oh, this doesn't rise to impeachment. We're right there impeaching Bill Clinton for being stupid in terms of something like that. I mean, I love him. I think he was a great president. But being stupid in terms of that, and what would somebody do not to embarrass their family? But in any event, and that's so they did Bill Clinton. Now they want me to do George. I just didn't want it to be a way of life in our country. As far as the Mueller report, there was a good deal of the academics said, and 1,000 legal experts wrote a statement that said the Mueller report is an what's in there is an impeachable offense. It wasn't so much of what's in the Mueller report will be more clear once some of the court cases are resolved, but it wasn't so clear to the public. The Ukraine just removed all doubt. It was self-evident that the president undermined our national security, jeopardized the integrity of our elections as he violated his oath of office. There's just, that's something that cannot be ignored.
I mean, Nancy Pelosi is a crackhead, all right? She is aware that George Bush lied. She says that I knew there were no WMDs in Iraq because I was on the House Intelligence Committee. You don't need to be on the House Intelligence Committee to know that that was BS. Okay, and by the way, if she knew, all of them knew. Okay, all of them knew. When Hillary voted for the Iraq War, when Biden did, they knew. They're not stupid, man. They knew there were no WMDs. This is not about the WMDs. This is about the war machine. It's about the profits. It's about expansionism. It's about imperialism. That's what it's about. It's not about the WMDs. They all knew there were no WMDs. The whole goddamn world knew that. You didn't need to have special access to classified information to know that. All right. And this whole claim about 9/11, I mean, she says it herself that they had nothing to do with 9/11. I mean, you have to be a moron to believe that. Iraq is a secular country, even under Saddam's rule. So this is absolutely ridiculous that he would have anything to do with Al-Qaeda. It's really incoherent what she says. I mean, this is like almost Joe Biden level of rambling. You know, she's saying that they impeached Bill Clinton for bogus. Okay, so you're aware that impeaching someone has to have a standard. You're aware that what happened to Bill Clinton was kind of ludicrous, right? Over a blowjob. So you know that it has to be something that carries weight. You just said that Bush was lying about WMDs. He started a war over it. And you didn't find that impeachable? Lying isn't grounds for impeachment? It sure seemed like it for Nixon and Clinton. And now with Trump, this boggles my mind. I mean, everything that Nixon, Clinton, and Trump did is nothing compared to what Bush did. What Bush did, starting a war in Iraq over lies and destabilizing the entire region and leading to the creation of ISIS. And I mean, this dwarfs what Trump did. I'm sorry, but you're a moron if you think otherwise. It dwarfs what Trump is doing or has done with Ukraine. All right, withholding foreign aid. This is a bogus impeachment charge, man. They don't like Trump and they can't go after him for corruption, all the things they partake in, because then it makes them look bad too. So anyway, the point is that what Bush did is worse than any other president. We all know this, man. We all know this. And yet she refused to go after him. She also refused to go after him for the torture programs. Now that she knew about when others didn't, okay? She knew about that, about the waterboarding. She knew about all this stuff. I mean, people had to find this out through Abu Ghraib, okay? Right? That was the first instance where it manifested itself in the public sphere, where we saw what was going on. And I mean, you really got to think about this for a second, man. You know, like all those kids who got blown up with cluster bombs, all those people who got tortured in Abu Ghraib, and on and on and on and on and on. All of that happened as a result because of Nancy Pelosi and others like her not doing anything. And she's no regrets. She don't care. You know why? She didn't have to live with those consequences, man. She don't care. All right? Her job in the Democratic Party is to get all this cash from the corporations and then distribute it to everyone, like the mob. She gets the money and then she gives it to everyone and keeps them quiet and keeps them in line. That is Nancy Pelosi's job and has been for the last 30 years. That's why she's worth over $100 million. Okay? You don't get that rich in government by being as clean as a whistle. You do that by being a corrupt piece of shit. And it's really astounding that she has no conscience, man. She's absolutely no conscience. It's really astounding. They're going after Trump for this nonsense, but they won't go after Bush. No one is ever going to hold these people accountable, man. Ever. Forget about it. It's over. Because you have people like her with no backbone in positions of power. And again, you're going to have all these people who are suddenly, constitutional lawyers saying that, oh, but lying about WMDs is not an impeachable offense. No. Hold on a second, man. Hold on a second. It's not about the WMDs. Lying in itself, okay? Misleading the public. Misleading the public for personal gain. Let me remind you who was vice president as well, Mr. Dick Cheney, and where he worked, okay, with Halliburton and all this stuff, profiting directly from this war. This is completely impeachable. Don't play dumb. Stop deluding yourself. And let us give Nancy Pelosi the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that, okay, lying about war, lying about WMDs, misleading the public is not impeachable. Why didn't you hold a press conference? Why didn't you say something at least? You could have held a press conference in 10 minutes and just told everybody, yo, the president is lying about WMDs. I'm on the House Intelligence Committee. I've seen the evidence. There is nothing there. She could have said something, right? The bare minimum. She could have just said what she just said now in 2003. Everything she just said now. Why didn't she just say that in 2003? Even if you give her the benefit of the doubt that she couldn't impeach Bush, she could have at least said something. But she didn't. You know why? Because war is a racket. War makes money. And Nancy Pelosi is an agent, is a merchant of the military-industrial complex, just like all of them. This is why y'all need to get rid of her. All right? You need to vote her out with Shahid Buttar. I did a video on Shahid. There's also Agatha for Congress. She's also running for the same seat. Either of them would be a dream compared to Nancy Pelosi. They're both progressives. Okay? So check out Agatha for Congress or Shahid for Change. They're running in her district for her seat in San Francisco, 2020. Man, come on, man. I mean, how many more years do you want of her? She's been doing this for 30 years, man. She's cost 100,000 to 1 million lives in Iraq, just with this one thing that we're talking about now, right? She don't care. She don't care that scores have died in Iraq. She don't care about nothing, man. You got to get rid of her. You got to vote her out. You got to get someone responsible, someone who's a progressive into office. Shahid Buttar. Check him out, man. I did a video on him. Go on Google, type Shahid for change. Type Agatha for Congress. Donate to their campaigns, man. Get the wheels moving. Get the wheels moving. It's not going to work otherwise, man. You're going to have another 20 goddamn years of this woman. Fighting for wars. Screwing over people. Not passing health care. No action on climate change. Is that what you want?